Dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel Chem Origin. This is Dr. Satish, RGUKT Srikakulam. Students, in this module, I covered and I give explanation about the important compounds of boron like boric acid, borax, and what are the methods for the preparation of borax and chemical properties of borax. Similarly, what is the preparation methods for the boric acid and what are the chemical properties of boric acid. Similarly, boric acid structure explanation. After that, in our syllabus, aluminum metal, a small introduction about the aluminum metal and the aluminum metal, how it reacts with acids and bases. So these are the topics I covered in this module 4. Other important compounds of boron. There are some other compounds also very important of boron compounds. Let me see. The first one is borax. Borax. It is also known as a sodium tetraborate. Its molecular formula is Na2B4O7 10H2O. We know this name because in group 1A element or S-black elements, alkali metals case, alkali metals are highly reactive. In that alkali metal, sodium also one of the alkali metal, it is highly reactive. That's why it is not available in free state and always it available in a combined state as a, for example, rock salt, sodium chloride, or chili salt petri, NaNO3, or borax, Na2B4O7 10H2O in the form of hydrated salt form is known as a borax, sodium tetraborate. See how we prepare this borax, sodium tetraborate. We can see. First method is from Tinkal. Tinkal is a mineral. Tinkal is a just mineral. It is generally available in lakes. It is generally available in lakes as a mineral. Tinkal is a mineral. It is generally available in lakes. For example, in Ganga, Brahmaputra, like in that lakes, it is available. This Tinkal material is a mineral. This Tinkal is dissolving in a hot water. Initially, this Tinkal is dissolved in a hot water. This Tinkal is dissolved in a hot water. After dissolving this Tinkal in hot water and after some time on evaporation of the water or concentrating the solution, if the concentration is carried at a low temperature or room temperature, we are getting borax. This borax, if this concentration of solution is carried at a high temperature, means approximately at 60 degrees centigrade, you are getting a pentahydrate. See, it is known as a decahydrate. Here 10 is present. In borax 10 is present. It is a decahydrate salt. Deca means it represents 10 hydrates molecules are here. In the pentahydrate case, here penta means 5 is present. Here 5 water molecules are present in the salt. In the borax there are 10 water molecules are present. So Tinkal in the hot water after dissolution, the concentration of solution is carried at low temperature, we are getting borax. If the concentration is carried at around at 60 degrees centigrade, we are getting a pentahydrated salt of borax, Na2B4O7 5H2O. This is one of the method for the preparation of borax. And the second one from colominite. Colominite is also a mineral. It is available in nature. This colominite is treated with or heated with sodium carbonate. This sodium carbonate is also known as a soda ash. Na2CO3 is also known as a soda ash. If colominite is a mineral, this mineral is treated with a sodium carbonate solution, we are getting calcium carbonate precipitate. Here calcium carbonate is available in the form of precipitate. That's why here I write a down arrow, means CaCO3 is precipitated here. In the solution, borax and sodium metaborate are present in the solution. From this solution, CaCO3 is separated by filtration, and the filtrate contains both borax and sodium metaborate. From this solution, on evaporation or on concentration, the borax is recrystallized from the solution. Borax is recrystallized from the solution. From the solution, borax is recrystallized, and the solution remaining is known as a mother liquor. In the solution remaining is known as a mother liquor. This word also we discussed in our laboratory. What is mother liquor? I hope students you all know about the mother liquor. In the mother liquor, sodium metaborate is in dissolved condition. To this mother liquor, if we pass carbon dioxide gas, if we pass CO2 gas, carbon dioxide gas, the mother liquor containing sodium metaborate is again converted into corresponding borax. So this is the second method for the preparation of borax. And the third one is from orthoboric acid. Orthoboric acid, BOH thrice or H3BO3. It is also treated with Na2CO3. Soda ash, it gives borax, and CO2 gas is evolved. So see, dear students, in the preparation of borax, both from colominate and boric acid, we are using soda ash or sodium carbonate as one of the substrate or starting material or reactant. Properties of borax. Generally, borax is a white crystalline solid form. Borax is available commercially as a white crystalline form. Borax is available. Borax is generally available in three crystalline forms. One is prismatic borax. It is a dihydrated salt. And the second one is octahedral borax. It is a pentahydrated salt. And the third one is borax glass. Generally, prismatic borax has 10 water molecules, decahydrate salt, and octahedral borax is a pentahydrated salt, whereas borax glass is a anhydrous salt. Means here there are no water molecules in the borax. So this anhydrous salt is known as a borax glass. Generally, this borax glass is obtained by the heating the borax above its melting point. If prismatic borax or octahedral borax is heated above its melting point, if heating above its melting point, above to more means more than the melting point, above to borax melting point, we are getting a borax glass. Na2B4O7, it is a anhydrous salt. And also, when borax is dissolved in a water, already I told you guys, white crystalline. When borax is dissolved in a water, it forms a alkaline solution, because in the product it forms a sodium hydroxide and orthoboric acid. Sodium hydroxide is a base. We know sodium hydroxide is a base. Hence, whenever if you dissolve borax in water, it forms a alkaline solution. Alkaline solution is formed because in the solution sodium hydroxide, caustic soda, sodium hydroxide is formed. Whenever if borax is dissolved in a water, sodium hydroxide is formed. Therefore, borax is generally available in three forms: prismatic borax, octahedral borax, and borax glass. If we dissolve this borax in water, it forms a alkaline solution. Next important concept is borax bead test. Dear students, this is very important reaction. Please concentrate on this borax bead test. This is very important. There are many types of question is coming from this borax bead test in IIT JEE and MSET competitive exams, and also in our academic examination point of view, means mid semester point of view and semester point of view. This borax bead test is very important reaction. and very interesting concept. Please concentrate on this example and reaction. Borax bead test. Borax bead test. Okay, so in examination, maybe the question is asked like this: what is borax bead test? What is borax bead test? And explain with example. And explain with example. So student, like this question may be expected from our academic examinations. What is borax bead test and explain with example. What is borax bead test? What is borax bead test? Explain with example. Okay, we can see what is borax bead test. In the borax bead test, generally it is used in the qualitative analysis of inorganic salts. Our inorganic salts sometimes containing metal cations. That metal cations can be identified with the help of this borax bead test. Unknown metal salt containing what kind of metal is present in the salt, we can be identified with the help of borax bead test. In the borax bead test, initially what happened? Borax on heating, borax Na2B4O7 10H2O. This borax on heating, it forms a anhydrous borax. Anhydrous borax. In the just previous slide only we discussed about this anhydrous borax. Nothing but it is a borax glass. This borax glass on fusion, on fused, on pressed, on applying pressure, it forms a sodium metaborate NaBO2 and boric anhydride B2O3. B2O3. In this case, this borax glass fused state contains sodium metaborate and boric anhydride. This boric anhydride B2O3 is there now, students. This B2O3 on reaction with an unknown metal oxide. For example, in this reaction here I take cobalt oxide. Cobalt oxide I taken. Cobalt oxide I am taking. So this borax glass on treated with cobalt oxide, it forms a cobalt metaborate. This cobalt metaborate is having a blue color. A blue color bed is formed. A blue color bed is formed. Therefore, based on this blue color, the unknown metal salt contains cobalt as a metal cation. If the metal oxide contains chromium, if the metal oxide contains chromium, what is the atomic number of chromium? 24. If it contains chromium oxide, this boric anhydride reacts with chromium oxide, forms a green color bed. If green color bed is formed, the metal present in the inorganic salt is chromium. If violet color bed is formed, the inorganic metal salt contains manganese. If brown color or reddish brown color bed is formed, the metal present in the inorganic salt is nickel. In this manner, unknown metal present in the inorganic salt can be identified with the help of borax bead test. Students, it is very, very important reaction and a applicative reaction in qualitative analysis of inorganic salt analysis. Unknown metal cation present in the salt can be identified with the help of borax bead test. In the borax bead test, initially heating the borax, it forms a anhydrous borax. This on fused forms a borax glass. It contains sodium metaborate and boric anhydride. This boric anhydride on reacted with the metal oxide forms a corresponding metal metaborate. It is having a specific color. Depend upon the color of the metal metaborate, we can identify whether the metal is cobalt or manganese or chromium or nickel, etc. Another important compounds of boron is boric acid. Boric acid. Another important compound of boron is boric acid. Boric acids are generally available by when you dissolve B2O3, boron trioxide, in water, we are getting boric acids. Different types of boric acids are there. we can see what are those. When boric acid is dissolved in water, we are getting boric acids. Boron trioxide is dissolved in water, we are getting boric acids. Boric acids are based on their molecular formula. We can divide it into different types. If the molecular formula is H3BO3 or BOH thrice, orthoboric acid. Orthoboric acid, its molecular formula is either H3BO3 or BOH thrice. Both of these molecular formulas represents orthoboric acid. And the next boric acid is metaboric acid. The metaboric acid molecular formula is HbO2. HbO2 is the molecular formula of metaboric acid. See, from orthoboric acid to metaboric acid, the formula difference is one water molecule. In the orthoboric acid, there are 3 hydrogens. In metaboric acid, only 1 hydrogen. In orthoboric acid, 3 oxygens, whereas in metaboric acid, only 2 oxygens. Therefore, the difference between the molecular formula of orthoboric acid and metaboric acid is 1 water molecule. 1 water molecule difference. Next boric acid is tetraboric acid. Tetraboric acid. H2B4O7. H2B4O7 is the molecular formula of tetraboric acid. And next boric acid is pyroboric acid. Pyroboric acid. Its molecular formula is H6B4O7. H6B4O7. In this manner, when boron trioxide is dissolved in water, it produces different types or various types of boric acids. Based on their molecular formula, we can classify different types of boric acids. Different types of boric acid. Orthoboric acid, metaboric acid, tetraboric acid, and pyroboric acid. And the one more important thing is that orthoboric acid can represent with 2 possibilities of molecular formula. Whether you can represent with H3BO3 or you can represent with BOH thrice. And sometimes in competitive exams, the question may ask from boric acids, what is the molecular formula? What is the molecular formula of pyroboric acid? Pyroboric acid. Or sometimes may question ask like this, what is the molecular formula of tetraboric acid or metaboric acid or orthoboric acid? Hence, students, you should familiar with the name of the boric acid and its molecular formula. Out of these 4 boric acids, orthoboric acid is more important. Orthoboric acid is more important. In the coming slide, we discussed about the preparation and properties of this orthoboric acid. Out of these 4 boric acids, orthoboric acid is highly important. Preparation of boric acid. Boric acid we can prepare by in these 2 methods. The first one is from colomanite. This colomanite is also we used in the earlier side for the preparation of borax. In borax preparation also we use colomanite. Colomanite formula is Ca2B6O11. Ca2B6O11 is the formula of colomanite. Student, please concentrate on the molecular formula of colomanite. It is important. Please remember this one. What is the molecular formula of colomanite? Ca2B6O11. From Ca2B6O11, we already prepared borax. In this here, we can see how we prepare the boric acid from colomanite. Colomanite is make into finely powdered, and the powdered substance is dissolved in water or suspended in water. On that solution, we can pass SO2 gas. What is SO2? Sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide gas is passed through the solution and we get a orthoboric acid H3BO3 in the solution. This solution on heating Orthoboric acid H3BO3 or BOH thrice is formed outside as a crystalline or crystallizes outside. Crystallizes. The formed product solution on heating orthoboric acid is crystallized from the solution. So in this manner we prepare boric acid or orthoboric acid from colomenite. Colomenite initially make into powder. That powder is suspended in a water and passes SO2 gas, sulfur dioxide gas over the solution, forms a orthoboric acid in the solution. This solution on heating, orthoboric acid is crystallized out from the solution. And the next method is from borax. Borax, this is one of the compound of boron. Borax, from borax also we can prepare boric acid. Borax molecular formula is Na2B4O7. Students, the hot borax Na2B4O7 is treated with H2SO4, sulfuric acid, aqueous solution of sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid is also called as a king of chemicals. King of chemicals. Sulfuric acid is also known as a king of chemicals. When borax is treated with aqueous sulfuric acid, we are getting a orthoboric acid. In the solution along with orthoboric acid, sodium sulfate is also formed. Sodium sulfate is also known as a salt cake. Also known as a salt cake. Along with salt cake, orthoboric acid is present in the solution. This solution on cooling, orthoboric acid or boric acid is crystallized out from the solution on cooling. Orthoboric acid is crystallizes from the solution on cooling. So on cooling the solution, we are getting a orthoboric acid or boric acid crystals. In this, by using these two methods, we can prepare boric acid. So this is also very important, students. In examination, they may ask what are the write any two methods for the preparation of boric acids. So one is from colomenite. Colomenite is already used in the preparation of borax. And from borax also we can prepare boric acid. Very simple and very easy to remember. Don't worry. Properties of boric acid. Orthoboric acid is a white crystalline solid and it is also soapy to touch. Soapy to touch. So very smooth nature. And also orthoboric acid is a white crystalline solid. It is soapy to touch. It is sparingly soluble in water. But in salt water it readily soluble. It is readily soluble nature. It is readily soluble. So orthoboric acid is sparingly soluble in water, means in normal water it is very small amount only soluble, but in case of salt water if you take it readily soluble. It is highly soluble nature in salt water. This is one of the physical property, and it is formed by the hydrolysis of boron compounds. So already in the previous slide we saw we use colomenite with water dissolved in water and passing SO2 gas, as well as borax. From borax also we prepared boric acid. Borax are treated with aqueous H2SO4. So in this manner boron compounds dissolved on hydrolysis forms boric acid. And the next property is it acts as a Lewis acid. Actually in boric acid there are OH groups are present. Generally OH compounds are having basic nature, but here boric acid acts as a acid. In the name itself is represent a acid, boric acid. That's why its molecular formula is very important in competitive exams. Generally acids are acts as a proton donors where they are having H, but in BOH thrice it is in the form of OH. Still it acts as a acid. So when boric acid is treated with a water molecule, it accepts a pair of electron and forms a BOH4 minus. electron pair acceptor. Electron pair acceptor. Electron pair acceptor is nothing but Lewis acid. Electron pair acceptor. Electron pair acceptor is called Lewis acid. Here from water molecule, one more OH group is attracted by the BOH thrice and forms BOH4 minus, and it acts as a Lewis acid. Even though it is having three OH groups, it acts as a weak monobasic acid. Weak monobasic acid. Weak monobasic acid. Therefore, boric acid is sometimes in competitive exam may ask boric acid is a base, is a acid, is a weak monobasic acid, all the above. In this manner, in competitive exam may ask the objective question. So please concentrate on this reaction, students. Next property, heating. Boric acid on heating. Boric acid on heating. Initially, boric acid is heated at 370 Kelvin. 370 Kelvin temperature. 370 Kelvin temperature by the loss of one water molecule. By the loss of one water molecule, we are getting HbO2. What is the name of HbO2, students? Metaboric acid. Metaboric acid. Metaboric acid formula is HbO2. So boric acid on heating at 370 Kelvin, by the loss of water molecule, it forms a metaboric acid. This metaboric acid on further heating, on continuation of heating, it forms a boron oxides. Boron oxides are formed. So these are the properties of boric acid, students. Very easy to remember. No need to worry about this. No need to vast by heart. Just you can remember what is the physical state of boric acid. It is a white crystalline solid and soapy to touch. It is sparingly soluble in water but readily soluble in salt water. And another property is boron compounds on hydrolysis, boric acids are formed. As another property is boric acid acts as a Lewis acid. Even though this formula contains, its formula contains three OH groups. And the next one is on heating boric acid, we are getting metaboric acid at 370 Kelvin. On further heating, continuation of heating, metaboric acid, from metaboric acid, boron oxides are formed. Next, structure of boric acid. So boric acid structure we can concentrate, students. Already we saw the electronic configuration of boron. We know boron atomic number is 5 and its ground state electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2px1. In the first excited state, one electron is migrated from 2s2 to 2py1. Hence the first excited state electronic configuration of boron is 1s2, 2s1, 2px1, 2py1 and 2pz0. In boric acid, the hybridization of boron is sp2. sp2 hybridization. sp2 means there are three hybrid sp2 orbitals are formed. Three sp2 hybrid orbitals are formed. Three sp2 hybrid orbitals are formed. These three sp2 hybrid orbitals are overlapped with the orbitals of oxygen and forms DO3 minus ion, because the oxygen electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. In oxygen, there are two unpaired electrons in 2py1 orbital and 2pz1. In the 2py1, one of the 2py1 orbital of one oxygen atom is overlapped with the boron. In this manner, three oxygen atoms, 2py orbitals are overlapped or shared with the boron atom, forms a BO3 minus ion. This minus charge and the one more unpaired electron in oxygen can form a covalent bond with hydrogen atom, forms corresponding boric acid, forms a covalent bond with the hydrogen and forms orthoboric acid. So this is the structure of the boric acid. BO3 minus ion is like this. and the boric acid can combine with other boric acid and forms a polymerase to form a complex structure. Represents here already in the SEM1 in chemical bonding we know the hydrogen bonding concept. Hydrogen bonding, we know what is hydrogen bonding. It is a not a direct bond or not a permanent bond. The bond between a hydrogen atom and that hydrogen atom is connected with a highly electronegative element, and that hydrogen can form a partial bond with the highly electronegative element present in another molecule or in the same molecule. If hydrogen bond is formed with another molecule that is known as a intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Intermolecular hydrogen bond. If hydrogen bond takes place within the molecule, it is known as a intramolecular hydrogen bond. Intermolecular hydrogen bond and intramolecular hydrogen bond. Students, please be careful or familiar with intermolecular hydrogen bond and intramolecular hydrogen bond. So please careful with inter and intra. So here in the BOH thrice molecule, intermolecular hydrogen bonds takes place between the boric acid molecules, and the structure becomes like this. It looks like a giant type of molecule. See, here it is the hydrogen bonding between the hydrogen and oxygen of another molecule of boric acid. This is the hydrogen bond. Here I showed with a dotted line. Here I show with a dotted line. This dotted line represents the hydrogen bond between the hydrogen and oxygen of boric acid molecules. In this manner, the structure of boric acid we can explain very clearly. Very easy to remember the structure of boric acid because we already know the electronic configuration of boron atom. In the first excited state, it contains 3 unpaired electrons. In this, the boron hybridization is sp2. sp2 means 1 s orbital and 2 p orbitals are involved. Hence, it forms 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals. These 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals overlapped with the 3 orbitals of oxygen atom and forms a 3 covalent bonds. So this is the structure of boric acid, students. Very important in examination of point of view. So be careful and be familiar with the structure of boric acid. No need to by hearts. Just you can remember the electronic configuration and hybridization of boron. Then automatically you can write very easily and correctly the structure of boric acid and its structure with explanation. In the boric acid molecule there is a possibility of hydrogen bonding. Because of this hydrogen bonding, it forms a like this kind of giant polymeric type of structure. Next, third A group element is aluminium. Its atomic number is 13 and its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s2, 3p1. Aluminium atomic number is 13 and its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p1. Here we can see how aluminium react with acids and as well as bases. Aluminium is a amphoteric metal. Aluminium is a amphoteric nature. Amphoteric already you are familiar with, students. I know students you are already very familiar with the word amphoteric. Aluminium is with amphoteric nature. Amphoteric means it reacts with both acids as well as bases. Both acids and bases. So aluminium reacts with how it reacts with acid we initially see. Suppose aluminium is treated with dilute or concentrated, both, whether the HCl, hydrochloric acid, HCl is a hydrochloric acid. If we treated aluminium with a dilute HCl or concentrated HCl, hydrochloric acid, it evolves hydrogen gas. It evolves H2 gas. Hydrogen is a gas. That's why I represented here with a upper arrow, because after formation of the gas in the course of reaction, the gas is going outside. So aluminium react with whether dilute HCl or concentrated HCl, it liberates H2 gas. Similarly, H2SO4. Similarly, reaction of aluminum with dilute H2SO4. Students, dilute H2SO4. How aluminum react? Aluminum metal react with dilute H2SO4. Similar to HCl. Here also it evolves hydrogen gas. H2 gas is evolved like HCl. But very interesting thing is that when you treat with concentrated H2SO4, when aluminum metal is treated with concentrated H2SO4, it releases surprisingly SO2 gas, sulfur dioxide gas. See students, how it will vary. When you treat it with dilute H2SO4, it liberates H2 gas. If the same aluminum metal is treated with concentrated sulfuric acid, it liberates sulfur dioxide gas. So be careful with this reaction, whether the aluminum is reacted with dilute H2SO4 or concentrated H2SO4. Please should be familiar. Please careful with this reaction. When you write in examination, aluminum reaction with sulfuric acid, whether the sulfuric acid is a dilute one or a concentrated one. If you use dilute H2SO4, it liberates H2 gas. If you treat it with a concentrated H2SO4, it liberates SO2 gas. Next, reaction with dilute HNO3. Dilute HNO3. When aluminum metal is treated with dilute HNO3, it reduces HNO3 nitric acid into ammonium nitrate, NH4NO3, ammonium nitrate. In ammonium nitrate, see, from HNO3 only one hydrogen is present. In ammonium nitrate 4 hydrogens are there. Hence it reduces HNO3 to ammonium nitrate. Ammonium nitrate is formed with dilute HNO3. When you treat aluminum metal with dilute HNO3, see here clearly mentioned very dilute, it forms ammonium nitrate. If we treat with concentrated HNO3, when you treat aluminum metal, when you treat aluminum with aluminum metal with concentrated HNO3, what happens? In case of concentrated HNO3, aluminum metal reacts to form a thin film over the metal oxide layer. For example, see, this is your aluminum metal. This is your aluminum metal. Initially, this concentrated HNO3 forms a thin film like oxide layer around the aluminum metal. The inside aluminum metal does not expose to the concentrated HNO3. In this manner, a thin film is formed around the aluminum metal when you treat aluminum with concentrated HNO3. A thin film is formed around the aluminum metal. Hence, we does not prefer a concentrated HNO3 reaction with aluminum. We only discussed about aluminum reaction with dilute HNO3. So these are the some of the examples of reaction with acids of aluminum metal. I already told you students, aluminum is with amphoteric nature. So because of its amphoteric nature, it also reacts with bases, alkalis. It also similar to acids, aluminum metal react with bases and it liberates hydrogen gas. Similar to acid reactions, aluminum also react with bases and it liberates hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas is evolved and it forms a metal aluminate ion, meta aluminate ion or aluminate ion. Therefore, aluminum reacts with alkalis, it liberates along with hydrogen gas and it forms meta aluminate or aluminate ions. So, students, these are the explanation about the third A group elements. Third A group elements, students. So, up to here, third A group elements topic is over according to our BOS syllabus. I hope you enjoy my module video session, students. In the after this module 4, I make a small video, students, a concise approach explanation about the third A group elements. In that video, I put some of the important questions or most expected questions from third A group elements. I put on that small video. So after this video, Please also visit that video. Thank you for your cooperation.